Dip in some of that sauce. Boing boing now. Chicken and rice and everything nice. I think that's how the nursery rhyme goes. Because that's what I'm made of. Yeah, we're gonna cut that out. Let's make dinner. Let's start off. Bone-in chicken thighs. You can use boneless if you like, but I like the flavor that the bone-in gives. Now this recipe is only gonna call for 4 seasonings. I use Badia Sazon Complete just because I like a good all-purpose to start things off with. Also throwing some onion powder in there. You can't have good chicken without garlic powder. You can use whatever Cajun brand that you like. I'm using Kingsford because it was the only thing in the store, but I tried it on a couple of recipes and it's actually pretty good. It's a nice spicy all-purpose seasoning that's not too spicy. I'm gonna toss some of that on there. I like to pour about a tablespoon of olive oil just to help get everything combined and well incorporated. Don't follow me, I promise you I'm not that weird. Now we're just gonna give everything a good generous mix. And the goal isn't just to get the chicken seasoned at the top, but we want to get inside of the skin as well. So as you see here, the chicken thighs have that inner layer there. Want to make sure that we rub that seasoning inside so everything gets nice and coated. And if you'd like just to give it a little bit more seasoning, you can add a little bit more Cajun to the top just to give it some extra color. You know what, why not toss some garlic powder in there as well? We're gonna let this marinate for about 30 minutes to an hour. Normally I say marinate overnight for best results, but we ain't got that much time. We're trying to get food ready for the family, so 30 minutes should do it, and then we're gonna get started with everything else. But in the meantime, let's get our vegetables cut. All right, let's chop up some bell peppers. It's okay if you don't chop up your peppers fancy, like who are you really trying to impress? Pretty sure your family isn't judging you based on how you dice peppers, so as long as you're cutting up everything properly and safely and the food is good, that's all that really matters. Cut the top like so. Do the old claw method and then kind of work my way around using the knife as a guide. There we go. All core, no bore. And make sure whenever you're scraping your cutting board, don't use the knife side. It's gonna ruin your cutting board. If you have to scrape it, use the back side. Peppers and onions are done. Let's put this to the side and rinse out our rice. We eat a lot of rice in my household, so I'm gonna go with 2 cups of some basmati rice. Use whatever rice you have in the house. It could be basmati, jasmine, short, long grain, medium grain, doesn't matter. The idea is to run water through the rice so it comes out clear and gets out all the starch. You can use a bowl for this. I have this handy convenient cheesecloth. I'm using that to kind of get everything rinsed out. You can actually see the color change here. So you see it's kind of chalky, kind of grayish, and it's going to go to clear. Whoops. And it'll get clear in no time. That water was chalky. And now it's running nice and clear. So our rice is good to go. Just gonna let it sit here for a couple of minutes just to get the excess water out. And then we can get started with our cooking. Actually, before we get started with that, let's make a makeshift broth first. Now, if you have chicken broth already, that's perfectly fine. But this method is actually a little bit cheaper and it's more flavorful. All right, so I have roughly about half of this pot full. Gonna turn my burner on. Once your water comes to a boil, all you gotta do is toss in a bouillon cube, just like that. Then you're just gonna break it down and whisk until that cube is fully dissolved in that hot water. Which shouldn't really take too long, maybe a couple of minutes. And that's it. Simple and easy. I'm just gonna put this to the side on another burner and keep it on low just to make sure that this broth stays warm. Now I know there's already oil on the chicken and I didn't put too much, but we're gonna just put a little bit more in the pot just to help things. I've got my marinated chicken thighs. We're gonna put these in the pan skin side down just to get that skin to crisp up nicely. Yeah, you can hear that. That sounds good. You'll go right in the middle, my friend. We're not cooking this 100% of the way on the stove. This is just to get the skin nice and crispy. Once we get it nice and crispy, we're gonna take it out and then get started with everything else. But for the time being, let it sit there for about a good 5 or 7 minutes. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and check on our chicken thighs. Ooh. Straight to the bank. That's cash money right there. Perfect sear, beautiful color. That's what I'm talking about. After both sides sear, simply take your chicken thighs out. And I'm just gonna put this on a plate for the time being. Remember, this isn't 100% cooked. This is just to lock in that flavor and get a nice sear on that skin. All these little bits that you see here, don't wash that off. That's flavor right there. Toss in some butter. And then we're gonna use that combination of that butter and that oil to scrape off those bits. And now we are going to toss in carefully our peppers and our onions. It's a good thing I have a big enough pan to do this because I don't want it to spill everywhere. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. All right. So just want to give it a nice stir just to lock in all of that flavor. And as with anything that you cook, you want to build that flavor. So what I'm going to do is just for taste, to season those vegetables with a little salt and a few Harlem Shakes of some black pepper. And this isn't going to cook too long, just for a few minutes, just to make sure that the vegetables soften, and then we're going to add everything else in. So the vegetables are pretty much softened, so we can move on to our next step. I'm just going to add some turmeric, and this is just going to help that rice get some color. I'm going to add my rice to the pot like this, and then we're going to give it a nice stir to get that color in there, and I'll also toast the rice to get out that excess moisture. All right, now after a few minutes of toasting, I'm gonna add in some red kidney beans with the juices, and that's gonna help deglaze any extra bits that are on the bottom of that pan. Ooh, it smells good. I'm gonna cut my burner off, and then I'm going to pour that broth that I made in earlier. Pour it over the top like so, just to make sure that that rice is covered from top to bottom. And then we're gonna toss in our chicken thighs on top. Oh man, this smells so great. It looks good, smells good. Absolutely beautiful. Then we're gonna pour in those excess juices from the chicken on top. For this part, you can use a lid if you'd like. One of my fellow mutuals actually had her glass container break in the oven, and I've been a little bit skeptical since. So I'm going with some aluminum foil. Cover that there and just leave a little slit here for the venting. And we're gonna pop this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes or so. We'll come back to check it then. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and check on our rice and our chicken. Yeah. Ooh, baby. Get a look at that. Ain't she a beaut? Perfectly steamed vegetables. Nice fluffy rice with a little crisp at the bottom. Those chewy, flavorful beans. And that chicken still maintains that nice crispy skin while having a juicy interior. This is the ideal chicken and rice, man. Wanted to make sweet plantain, but the grocery store that I went to didn't have any ripe enough plantain, so let's make some tostones instead. So, simple recipe. I'm gonna cut off the ends first. And then carefully, without cutting too deep, get a little closer for you pretty people. I'm gonna cut a little slit here on one end, and do the exact same thing, making sure that we're not cutting too deep into that plantain. Actually, if you want to make this easier on yourself, cut that bad boy in half. It's so much easier. All right, our plantains have been peeled, So what we want to do is we want to cut them into little discs. I like to cut them at least to this level of thickness, but you can cut it to your desired length if you wish. Let me show you all a trick about making some good plantain. If you like, use fresh garlic for this. I don't have any in the house. I have garlic paste and garlic powder. So what I like to do is take about a tablespoon or so of garlic paste, about a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then we're going to stir in some water. Now the trick is, once we get these plantains fried and smashed up, we're going to soak this in the water for about a minute or so, and then put it right back in the fryer to get that nice garlicky taste. Start it off. I'm going to go in with some olive oil in my pan. So gently we're going to put these into our frying oil. We're going to fry these for about 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, right now I'm going to cut the oil off because it's going to take me a bit of time to get them mashed up and soaked, and I don't want that oil to burn. So cook this for about 2 or 3 minutes. It's pretty fine, just to get some color in it. And now we're going to take it out and put it on this wire rack. Unfortunately, I don't have any paper towels in the house, so this will have to do. Alright, we're going to make this fairly quick. So I'll use one as an example here. Take a cup or take some kind of mug and just kind of press down and mush that like that. And then you're going to dip it in here, let that sit for a minute, and then put it right back in the fryer and we're good to go. Careful of that splashback. These are going to be so good. Can y'all just get a good look at that? Ooh, that looks delicious. And then once they're done, just go ahead and sprinkle some salt on top for the finishing touch. Perfect. Alright, we're going to make a quick sauce for our tostones. Nothing complicated, really simple. Just take a couple of spoonfuls of sour cream, a good heaping amount of sriracha, add as much ketchup as you like, some Worcestershire sauce, and to curb it out with a little bit of acidity, some rice wine vinegar, not too much. Pretty plate. Start by plating some rice, put on a chicken thigh. You know what, I am rather hungry, let's do 2. There we go. Put a few of our tostones on the plate, and we'll go ahead and put our sauce. And that, my friends, is chicken and rice with tostones. The perfect one-pan meal, easy peasy, nice and breezy. I'm starving. I've been waiting for this all afternoon. Let's eat. Let's try out the rice. Look at that. Oh, it looks good. The beans and vegetables give it a really nice touch. Give you a little look-see at it. It's looking nice and juicy. Skin still crispy. Chicken has a nice depth of flavor. It's juicy, perfectly seasoned. I don't know why the chicken crossed the road, but you come to my house, you're getting cooked. Dip in some of that sauce. Boing boing now. The plantain is nice and crispy. That garlic takes it to the next level. This sauce, boing boing. Y'all make this. Stop playing games. Make this ASAP. She told me all the food was okay. Look at her plate.
It was alright. To be fair, you didn't feed me today. That was my only meal of the day. So.
But yet you can stuff candy down your throat and iced coffee? Yeah!
How about that?
Alright, if you're still here, that means you really love me, and I just want to take this time to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for following my channel. We actually just hit 10,000 subscribers the other day. Woo! Fanfare! Pyro! Celebration! All that jazz. No, but seriously, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. It truly means a lot. My goal, as I've said from the beginning, is to bring you simple, easy, approachable recipes that you and your family can make at home that don't break the bank, but they're still delicious. I actually want to do this full time, make recipes that you guys can enjoy, spend more time with my family at home, and just bring simple recipes to you every single day. So if you like the content that you see, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I have all of my recipes, including this one, on my website, cookingwithpatley.com. I'll put that in the description as well. As a great legend once said, success is a marathon, not a sprint. So I'll see you all at the next 10K. Follow me for more recipes like these. And until the next time we feast, peace.